Two funerals, one night. That is what this World Cup delivered, and nobody saw both coming in the same 24 hours. Germany, four-time world champions, eliminated. The Netherlands, three-time finalists, gone alongside them. Both knocked out in the same round, both sent home on penalties, both beaten by teams the world expected to lose. And somewhere in FIFA's offices tonight, there is a very expensive spreadsheet that no longer makes any sense. Because the story they built this 48-team World Cup around just got torn apart at the seams. The underdogs did not just show up, they took over. And what happened across those extraordinary 24 hours is not just a pair of upsets. It is a signal. Loud, unmistakable, aimed directly at every European power still standing in this competition. Start with Germany, and with one number that tells you everything before a single tactic gets mentioned. 15. 15 consecutive World Cup penalties scored across decades of tournament football. Not a single miss from 12 yards since 1982. For entire generations of football fans, Germany in a penalty shootout was not drama. It was not suspense, it was inevitability. You already knew how it ended before anyone walked to the spot. They stepped up, they scored, and the opponent's spirit broke. That was the deal, written into the fabric of this tournament for longer than most of us have been watching football. Last night, that deal expired. Havertz stepped up. Missed. Woltemade stepped up. Missed. And then Jonathan Tah, in sudden death with everything on the line, sent his kick into the atmosphere somewhere above the stadium. Paraguay erupted. Germany stood in silence. The executioners became the condemned, and the transformation was brutal. And here is where this gets richer than the headline score tells you. Germany had not been overrun. They had not been outclassed by some technically superior operation. Their squad was packed with players from Arsenal, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and Newcastle, serious European talent at the very highest level. In the first half alone, they controlled close to 78% of possession. 78. And in all that time, with all that quality moving through the middle of the park, they did not register a single shot on target. Not one. Because Paraguay had a plan, and they executed it with the kind of collective discipline that takes every statistical advantage Germany thought they had and turns it into a weapon pointed back at them. Deep defensive block, compact shape, every line staying tight, denying any space between the lines, letting the Giants knock the ball around harmlessly until the moment to strike. Paraguay waited, hit through Julio and Ciso to take the lead, let Germany scramble level through Havertz, and then Jonathan Tah thought he had won the entire tie with a towering header before VAR chalked it off for a foul on the goalkeeper so soft that Jurgen Klopp came out afterward publicly furious, insisting the exact same ball gets allowed in the Premier League every single week. That call will be argued about for months. But the real lesson of this game is not about VAR. Possession without penetration means nothing in knockout football. Germany had the ball. Paraguay had the plan. The plan won every time it mattered. Now, the Morocco story is the one that should make every European team still alive in this draw genuinely afraid. Because what Morocco produced was not a smash and grab or a case of getting fortunate twice at the exact right moments. This was a statement of intent. The Netherlands came in ranked 7th in the world. Morocco came in at 6th. The highest-ranked matchup of the entire first knockout round, and Morocco were the more dangerous side for long stretches of normal time, pressing higher, creating clearer chances, looking every bit the team built to go further. The Dutch grabbed the lead when Cody Gakpo converted in the 72nd minute, and then did the single most dangerous thing you can possibly do against a team of Morocco's mentality. They sat back. They tried to hold on, invited pressure in, and decided to wait and cling on for the result. Against Morocco in 2026, with this squad and this belief, that is not game management, that is an invitation. The Atlas Lions kept pressing, kept asking the same unanswered questions. And in the first minute of stoppage time, Issa Diop rose above everyone to glance home an equalizer that sent Dutch hearts straight through the stadium floor. 1-1. And from that moment, you could feel the psychological momentum shifting in a direction it was not coming back from. Extra time arrived, and Morocco looked the stronger side in every meaningful sense, physically, mentally, in the sheer clarity of their collective belief. At one point, they held 82% of possession in those final 30 minutes. The only thing keeping the Netherlands alive in that tie was a heroic save from keeper Verbruggen, a performance that deserved far more recognition than it got given everything that followed. Penalties arrived, chaos followed. Even Achraf Hakimi, who plays Champions League football for Paris Saint-Germain without breaking sweat on the biggest nights in club football, stepped up and missed his kick. The drama was relentless, misses piling up from both sides, until Morocco's keeper Yassine Bounou made the decisive save from Somerville, and Ismail Saibari walked up, buried the winner, ripped his shirt off, and it was done. The Netherlands, a team that had reached at least the round of 16 in 11 consecutive World Cups, were out at the very first knockout hurdle for the first time in their entire history. That is an almost incomprehensible sentence to say out loud. If you love football breakdowns like this one, subscribe now, because this World Cup is only getting wilder from here, and you do not want to miss what comes next. The Morocco coach's words after that final whistle are worth sitting with for a moment. Nobody is unbeatable. 4 words, simple words, but they carry a weight that deserves to be recognized, because they tell you exactly what this squad believes about itself at a fundamental level. Morocco are not here to survive. They reached the World Cup semifinals in 2022, the first African nation in history to do it, and they came back to this tournament not hoping for another miracle run, but expecting to be competitive at the very highest level. Hakimi plays for PSG. Morocco's spine is built entirely from top European clubs. These players compete week in and week out in the same leagues, on the same stages, against the exact same club opponents as the Germans and the Dutch. The psychological gap that used to exist between African football and the European elite, the deference, the unspoken sense of stepping into someone else's tournament, is completely gone. Once the fear disappears, the talent does the rest. Step back now and look at the full picture of what this tournament has already delivered. Uruguay eliminated in the group stage. Germany, out. The Netherlands, out. Advancing in their place? Morocco, Paraguay, Cape Verde, the smallest nation ever to reach this stage in the entire history of the World Cup. Congo. These are not lucky escapees who hung on for their lives. These are organized, tactically sharp squads built by coaches who understand the European game from the inside out. The assumption that certain historic nations would simply always go deep because of the weight of their legacy is cracking in real time, and the cracks are getting wider. And this is precisely where it lands on FIFA's desk. The entire commercial logic of expanding this competition to 48 teams rested on one quiet assumption that was never stated out loud, but was always there underneath the numbers. The bankable name-brand giants would march deep into the bracket. Germany, the Netherlands, the nations that shift broadcast deals and global viewing figures and merchandise revenue. The underdogs were budgeted as the warm-up act. Show up, add color, get beaten, and clear the stage for the stars. Instead, the underdogs are the ones still here. Germany out in the round of 32 is a financial gut punch for a tournament that priced its own value around famous names going far. But here is what FIFA cannot say publicly. For everyone who actually loves this sport, what is happening right now is extraordinary. The unpredictability, the shock, the sight of a team ranked 34th eliminating 4-time world champions, the first African semifinalists returning to beat a top 10 European nation. FIFA wanted a profitable procession of giants. What they got is the World Cup doing exactly what it has always done best: beautiful, uncontrollable chaos, and it is nowhere near finished. Cape Verde face Messi's Argentina. Let that sentence land for a second. The smallest nation ever to reach this stage in World Cup history, against the greatest player of his generation, possibly the greatest of all time. Congo face England. Senegal could push Belgium's aging golden generation further than anyone in the bookmakers' offices is seriously calculating. The giant killing window is wide open, and after watching Germany and the Netherlands fall in a single night, would you genuinely bet against another heavyweight going home before the quarterfinals? The teams remaining in this competition have watched those results closely. They have seen the panic spread across Germany's faces in that shootout, the total disbelief written on every Dutch player when Diop's header went in. They know the Giants are human. They know the badge on the shirt guarantees nothing once the ball is rolling and the pressure is real. And that knowledge, at this stage of a World Cup, is extraordinarily dangerous for anyone who assumed their place in the later rounds was already reserved. 2 funerals in one night. The old order has been warned, loudly, publicly, and without any room for ambiguity. And this tournament is only getting more dramatic from here. So tell me, who goes next? Which supposed heavyweight is packing their bags early before this is all over? And can Cape Verde genuinely shock the entire world against Argentina and write the most stunning chapter this competition has ever produced? Drop your answer in the comments right now because I need to know. Like this video if the drama has you completely gripped. Subscribe so you do not miss a single shock this tournament still has left to deliver. Because after the last 24 hours, trust me on this, nobody at this World Cup is safe. Nobody.